Wait a minute, don't scroll. Have you ever looked at your relationship and realized something feels wrong, but you can't explain exactly what it is? You're always giving. You're always understanding. You're always the one checking in, apologizing, adjusting, forgiving, and trying to keep the relationship together. And somehow, the more you give, the more exhausted you become. If that sounds like you, I want you to listen carefully. Because sometimes the problem isn't that you don't love your partner enough. Sometimes you're loving them so much that you're slowly abandoning yourself. And today, I'm going to show you 7 signs that you may be overgiving in your relationship and what you can do about it. 1. You're always the one initiating everything. If you stopped calling, would they call? If you stopped checking in, would they notice? If you stopped planning everything, would anything actually happen? There's nothing wrong with initiating sometimes. The problem begins when you're carrying the entire emotional responsibility of the relationship. You're the one starting conversations. You're the one trying to fix arguments. You're the one planning dates. You're the one asking, "Are we okay?" And eventually you start confusing effort with love. But a healthy relationship shouldn't feel like one person is constantly pulling another person toward them. Love requires participation from both sides. Sign 2. You keep silencing yourself to avoid problems. You want to say something, but you don't. You're hurt, but you pretend you're fine. You become afraid that speaking honestly will cause an argument, rejection, or even abandonment. So you keep swallowing your feelings. But here's the danger. Every time you silence yourself just to keep the peace, resentment can quietly grow inside you, and you don't want that. And eventually, you may look at your partner and think, "Why don't you understand me?" But the truth is, you stopped showing them the real you a long time ago. Peace is important, but pretending everything is fine isn't peace. You keep asking yourself, what can I do to make them love me more? Maybe if I become more patient. Maybe if I give more. Maybe if I stop complaining. Maybe if I do everything perfectly, they will finally appreciate me. Please hear this. You should not have to perform for basic love, respect, and consideration. Improving yourself is beautiful. But changing your entire personality because you're terrified that someone will leave you is something completely different. You are not supposed to audition for your own relationship. Sign 4. You give more than you can afford emotionally. This one is very important. You keep saying yes when you want to say no. You keep giving your time when you're already exhausted. You keep solving problems that aren't yours. You keep carrying emotional burdens that your partner should also be helping to carry. And then you become tired, frustrated, and angry. But instead of asking, "Why am I carrying all of this?" you ask, "Why am I becoming so unhappy?" Sometimes your unhappiness isn't because you don't love the person. Sometimes you're simply overloaded. Sign 5 is you're more concerned about losing them than losing yourself. This is probably one of the biggest warning signs. You tolerate things you never thought you would tolerate. You abandon boundaries. You stop doing things you love. You distance yourself from people. You stop pursuing your goals. And every decision becomes, will this make them stay? But ask yourself another question. If I continue living like this for another 5 years, will I still recognize myself? Because keeping someone should never require you to completely lose yourself. A relationship should become part of your life. It shouldn't become your entire identity. Sign number 6, you feel guilty for having needs. You need affection, you need communication, you need quality time, you need respect, you need reassurance. And somehow, you feel guilty for asking for these things. Maybe I'm too demanding. Maybe I'm asking for too much. But having emotional needs doesn't make you needy. And communicating those needs doesn't automatically make you difficult. The important question is whether you and your partner can communicate about those needs and work towards meeting them. Sign 7, you don't even know what you want anymore. This is where overgiving can become really dangerous. You become so focused on what your partner wants, what your family needs, what will keep everyone happy, that you stop asking yourself, what do I want? What makes me happy? What are my boundaries? What are my dreams? What kind of relationship do I actually want? You've spent so much time being everything for everyone that you forgot who you are. If that's you, don't hate yourself, don't blame yourself, and don't suddenly make a drastic decision just because you watched one video. Instead, start coming back to yourself. What to do if you recognize yourself? Start small. First, learn to say no without giving a 10-minute explanation. Second, communicate your needs instead of expecting your partner to read your mind. Third, stop doing things purely because you're afraid someone will leave. Fourth, rebuild the parts of yourself you neglected, your friendships, your interests, your goals, your confidence, your relationship with yourself. And most importantly, watch what happens when you stop over-functioning. Not as a manipulation tactic, not to punish your partner, not to make them chase you, but simply because you deserve a relationship where effort doesn't depend entirely on you. Let me leave you with this. Love should require effort, but it shouldn't require you to disappear. You can be a loving woman without constantly sacrificing yourself. You can be supportive without carrying everything, give without accepting the same hurt repeatedly. And you can love someone deeply while still having boundaries. So if you recognize yourself in this video, don't ask yourself, how can I give more? Ask yourself, where have I been giving so much that I've stopped giving myself anything? And if this message spoke to you, subscribe to this channel because we're going to have more honest conversations about relationships, marriage, emotional connection, and becoming a healthier version of yourself. And remember, the goal isn't to become harder to love. The goal is to stop abandoning yourself just to be loved.